What are the two requirements for a successful business and the ways to meet them? This is an interesting question because you might think that business is either extremely simple or incredibly complex, and yet I want to suggest to you that there are just two things that you must have in place for a successful business. Now, this is big picture. I get it. This is big picture. This is the 30,000 foot view looking down at business. But those two things are relatively simple. Number one, you got to know what to do. You got to know what to do. You see, business has rules. Business has requirements. There are a set of things that must be done in order for a business to be successful, and you must know them. You must know them. But do not fear. If you do not know them, then there is a way, and we'll look at that. But the second thing that you must do is you must actually do what's required. You must take actions for what is known to be required. So first of all, you got to know what to do. Number two, you got to do it. Pretty simple. This isn't that hard. I mean, you can get lost in minutiae and lost in 10,000 things, different things to do. But at the end of the day, if you don't know what to do, then you are in trouble. Like, you are definitely in trouble if you don't know what to do. Because what do? You're not going to have a successful business if you don't know what to do. You could take thousands of different actions, none of which get you a successful business. Now, is there only one way to have a successful business? No, there's plenty of different ways to make your business successful. But they have been found. They are known. And it's not to say that you cannot create a new way of doing business. It's just that, hey, like a lot of people have been doing business for many years, they've dialed it in, and they're like, hey, this kind of works. Why don't you do this? We know it works. If you do this, we know that this gives you a set outcome. Kind of like a system. It's like, hey, if you follow these instructions, you will get this outcome, and that is a business. So number one, you got to know what to do. If you do not know what to do, then you either have to work it out and problem solve it, troubleshoot it, go, oh man, this didn't work. That's not getting me what I want. I'm not getting a successful business. Problem solve, problem solve, problem solve until you get a successful business. Or could there be a better way? Could there be another way? Well, there is. There is. Do you know what it is? Well, you borrow somebody who's already worked it out. And you might think, well, have I got to steal this? Is it hidden in some like very difficult to access place? Like, where do you get these instructions? Where do you get how do I know what to do for a successful business? Well, the cool thing is that it's everywhere, like literally everywhere. Why do I say that? Well, there's a whole industry about selling how to have a successful business. Like, it's in books, it's in courses, it's in software, it's in masterminds, it's in coaching programs. But all of these are offers. And that offer essentially says, hey, reduce the time required for problem solving by spending money or buying this opportunity where we have already gone through all of the pain, all of the suffering, all of the mistakes, all of the errors, all of the mess ups, all of the error after error in order to create this instruction manual, this set of instructions that leads to a successful business. And it's not just business, this is all things in life. Most things in life are not new. If you chose to do something today, guess what? There's probably someone who has already spent 10 years, 15 years, 20 years mastering it, and the really elite out of that group went ahead and documented it in a book, in software, in a course, in a mastermind, in a coaching program, and they are offering it to you and saying, hey, if you would like to spend X amount of money, invest X amount of money with me, then I will exchange the instruction manual. I will give you what is required in order to get what you want without having to go through the 10 years, the 15 years. It's not to say that it's just magically going to happen. You're just like, ding, and suddenly you can surf big waves. This is highly unlikely. But you can, right now, buy an app for, I think it's $127, that runs through the basics of surfing. How to learn to surf, how to improve your pop, how to improve your breathing, how to paddle better. And then when you progress from there, there will be further offers in order to rapidly accelerate from where you are, perhaps never having surfed before, through to being able to competently take on 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot, 10 foot, 20 foot, if you should so choose. Now, just to let you know, a 20-foot wave is scary. Like, you could die. Like, definitely potential to die. But if that is what you are committed to living, if that is the reality that you want to create, then know that the instructions are there. And you can either troubleshoot it and problem solve it with hour after hour after hour, most of which will not give you the answer that you're looking for. But you have to go through them in order to get to the solution, or you can invest into somebody who's already done it for you. My suggestion is, if you have this choice, then you should invest. You should invest. That the time frames, like particularly if you know how much time is worth to you, like if your 1 hour is worth $150, if it's worth $250, maybe it's worth $1,000, maybe it's worth $30. And you can say, well, for me to get to where I want to be, it's going to take 300 hours. Let's keep the maths nice and easy, and it's $100 an hour. Then that is a $30,000 investment on your part. If you can buy that for less than $30,000, perhaps it's $127, perhaps it's $1,000, perhaps it's $5,000. But if you can spend $5,000 to save $30,000, then this is a good investment, because not only are you investing $5,000, you are dramatically increasing your likelihood of getting what you want. You see, the $30,000 might go in and you still might not get what you wanted. Versus with the $5,000 investment, suddenly it's like, oh wow, not only do I get there quicker, faster, with way more likelihood of actually getting what you want. That is really the benefit of investing in someone else's offer. So, next time you come across an offer, you're like, man, well, how do I weigh this up? And I would look at it and say, well, how long would it take you to likely be required to problem solve this solution? And then double it and possibly triple it. Because a whole lot like software development, what you think is required is probably an underestimation of the true requirements. Have a look at that offer. Have a look at how many hours it will take in order just to get the set of instructions that works, and say, you know what, is this something that I really want? Because if it is something you really want, then you should say yes to that offer. And in exchanging money for that offer, you get to become more. You get to experience that which you want, which in the case of surfing might be surfing 4-foot waves, it might be surfing 20-foot waves. And you'll probably have to make a bigger investment to get to that 20-foot level. If it's in business and you want a successful business, then you should look for people who are successful in business and invest in them. If you want to know one place that I personally have found an outrageous return on investment, it's in Wake Up Warrior. I want you to go over and check this out. Go to playwarrior.io. That's PLAYWARRIOR, playwarrior.io. and go and check out a $297 offer and look at what this represents, because this offer for $297, your initial experience might be, man, $297, that's expensive. But what I want you to compare it to is what it cost Garrett to get that offer on the table. At minimum, it cost 4 years of his life. 4 years. You can buy 4 years of pain and struggle and difficulty and lost and questioning and feeling forsaken and feeling alone for 4 years, and you can condense that entire experience into 42 days. Do you get to go out of all of the pain and suffering? No. I'm sorry, no. Like, if you want to get out of pain and suffering, then you are going to struggle on this planet. Why? Because this world is filled with pain and suffering. There is no escape. You might have temporary escape in drinking or in smoking or deluding yourself or going to the movies, but eventually life will bring you pain and suffering, and your response to that will determine what happens next. And you can spend 4 years, 6 years, 8 years, 10 years, knowing that there is still not a guarantee that you're going to get out of it. Or you can spend $297, which is ridiculously cheap, to buy 4 years of pain and suffering, condense it into 42 days, and come out weaponized to take on life. And not only life, but to build a successful business. And you can take wherever you are right now, if you are willing to take the lessons, take the learnings, take the experience and say, you know what? I think this might work. Why? Because it's proven. Warrior is proven. So many people have been through it. And whether they're in the program now or not, they took the learnings and they applied it to their life. And those that continue to live the warrior's way continue to rise. And life responds. The universe responds. Why? Because they know what to do and they do it. That's really what's on offer here. If you are struggling with knowing what to do in business, or much more likely that you just cannot find the means and getting the leverage on yourself to do it, then you should head to playwarrior.io now. Take out your credit card and join for the next 42-day experience where you will learn the weapons to become a successful businessman or woman. On the other side is a life that is extraordinary. Or you can continue to try and problem solve it yourself over and over and over. Perhaps you will get there 1 year, 2 years, 6 years, 15 years later. But also know that there is a significant chance that you will not get there. That God or the universe provided Garrett to go through this experience so that you could exchange $297, however many hours that is. That might be 1 hour's work, that might be 10 hours work, that might even be 40 hours of work of you in exchange for 4 years of pain and suffering. It's up to you. But if you want to know what is possible in this life, if you want to know what is possible for you, if you would like to be able to actualize your heart's desires and see them in physical reality so that you can enjoy them, then you have a choice. You can either let this go and continue to suffer, or you can head over to playwarrior.io now and enter into an experience that is transformational. That's all I got for you today. I hope you take action. I'm not going to come and enter that URL for you. You must take that choice. You must walk through the door. What's on the other side? I hope that you would be open enough to find out what that might be for you. All right, that's all I got for you today. Thanks for tuning in on this episode. Whew! Do you know what to do, and are you willing to do it? Head over to playwarrior.io. Look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's episode as we continue this journey into the power of systems to create results. See you then.